All right, what's up, everybody? Man, I am doing more interviews than ever because there's never been a more important time for leadership. Actually, I shouldn't say that. Every time there's massive change, it's important for leadership. I started doing these interviews on YouTube coming out of the meltdown in 2008 because no one was doing sales meetings. Everybody was just burying their heads. And I'm like, you know what? Every Tuesday at 9 o'clock, I'm going to interview someone awesome that's a great leader that's going to educate, inspire. And we are in one of those seasons. We're going on, year two of a very difficult mortgage market. I don't think I need to tell anybody that. And then, the NAR settlements here. And so, there's a lot that creates challenges, but I think it's more important for leadership. So I have Hunter Marckwardt, a good friend of mine, in my mind, one of the best leaders in mortgage and real estate. Tremendous leader. He does a weekly newsletter called Sunday Thoughts. We'll tell you how you can sign up. It's free and be part of Hunter's Sunday Thoughts. But this Sunday, Hunter's Sunday Thoughts were indifference. It just had that word in the headline. And I was just like, what does that mean? And I probably wouldn't have read it except for it's from Hunter. I got to see what that means. So what's up, Hunter?
What's up, brother? Good to be here.
Yeah, thank you for doing these I don't know, Sunday Thoughts 2.0, where you're putting a little voice around what you bring to all your friends. How many people are part of your Sunday Thoughts now?
Dave, I don't know, man. I think it's around a couple thousand.
You should
I
know
should
that
know
number.
I should know that number, but it's around that.
Yeah, it's thousands. And it started off just being something for his team, the loan officers that he leads. He was a coach in the core. So he wanted to have Sunday thoughts for the people whose success he was responsible for. And it's just grown. And it's one of my favorite reads every Sunday. We'll put a link down below to get it. So Hunter, how are you doing, man? How's the market going? How are you doing?
I'm doing. It's funny. We were talking earlier today about stop. Someone said good. It's like stop saying good. You're either doing really crappy or great. So I'm doing great, man. There's a lot of moving parts, but I mean we're busy with a bunch of different activities. Some are really good activities. Some are annoying, but overall they're good. I talked to you offline. I mean we're starting to pick up and seeing some. I'm just the skies are starting to appear a little bluer than they were in the last 18 months.
What kind of production do you think you'll do this month and next month?
This month's like 9 million, and next month we've got like 17 and a half, 18 million on the books right now. So
Ooh.
yeah, it turned. It
Yeah,
definitely
that's
turned.
congratulations. That's exciting to hear.
Yeah, I'll
And
take
I'm
it.
hearing that more and more. How many loans for next month do you think at 17 million?
Right now we have that number it's a total of 29. And I don't know how many of those are left for March versus April.
Got it.
It should be something like 24, I think,
Hey,
for April.
when's the last time you closed over 20 loans in a single
I
month?
mean, honestly, I mean, 20 loans, how about 15 or how about 10,
Yeah, right,
so
right.
yeah, no, I mean, it turned into a market where if you were doing more than 10, you felt great. So
Well, congratulations. And
thank
I,
you.
I I noticed your team is creating a whole lot of total cost analysis. So you are clearly delivering mortgage coach to like everybody you serve. So
Dave, we are
congratulations.
all in. Compared to our interviews 6 years ago to today, we are all in, brother.
Yeah, no, I appreciate that. What about this before we get into indifference? I believe with this NAR settlement and the fact that buyer's agents are going to need to have a really good buyer agent presentation, and they're going to need to negotiate their comp, and they're going to need to get a signed agreement. Like they're going to need to partner with a mortgage coach that can help them, can add
Yes.
value to their buyer presentation. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, I mean, I agree 100%. I think, I watched your interview with Sean, who I'm a huge fan of. And I think, one of the things I'm talking to our buyers agents about is the same thing that I talk about, which is if you don't believe that you have a better chance of home ownership with me doing your loan, you shouldn't work with me. And I think for every buyer's agent now, they have to answer literally that same question, which is if you don't believe that you have a better chance of home ownership with me as your buyer's agent, we shouldn't be working together. But if you do, what does that look like? And I don't think I'm a huge fan of buyer's agents, but I mean, I think they have to get, way more specific as to the value that they bring for anyone as a buyer's agent, and then especially compared to the competition. So I think their relationship with lenders that are professional presentations, including everything that you do, I think it's more important today than I would venture to say any time in the past.
Yeah, no, agreed. So let's talk about indifference. If you could, and really just give anyone watching this video the lesson that you gave in that email. I mean, you obviously don't read it, but you're on stage. Give us a TED
Yeah.
talk on what does that mean?
Well, what crossed my mind, Dave, is I work with a bunch of loan officers inside of our division, and truly, what I was saying is, they're for any mortgage bank, right? If you're a mortgage bank, it costs money to house loan officers, period. And if those loan officers aren't producing, they're an expense. And it's not, I mean, I've got a ton of great friends that have been loan officers forever, but it's like you can only go back remembering production from previous years so far. People have to produce, or unfortunately, you don't, a company can't keep them. So I was, I think you and I talked about, I thought of this whole thing on like these 4 different quadrants of like what type of loan officers you have inside of an organization, or team members for that matter. And it was like, this isn't Sunday Thoughts, but it has to do with the indifference, which is you have loan officers that are like producing and positive. You have loan officers that are producing and kind of negative. You have loan officers that are positive and not producing much, and then you have loan officers that are negative and not producing much. And it's like, as far as categorizing people, if you have a bunch of loan officers that you're working with, you have to figure out where you put your time and energy with those people. You just do, right? You only have so much time in a day where to invest. And obviously, if you move up the chain, like the least amount of time personally I want to spend with anybody is someone that's negative and not producing, right? And you need to make sure you're spending a lot of time with people that are positive and producing. But in between there, I've been talking to loan officers just about, hey, we've got to get things going on, or people got to make different decisions. And one of the loan officers from last week was just so kind of blasé about their activities. And I got off the phone with them, and I just happened to listen to a podcast last week with Deion Sanders interviewing Ed Milet interviewing Deion Sanders.
I listened. By the way, great interview. We're going to put a
Great
link to that
interview.
down
Yeah.
below.
And he, Deion Sanders made the comment of, he goes, he loves the haters because he wouldn't know what love was without hate. And something I've written about before is I love the line, which it's not like I looked it up. It was like created in like 1928 or something. But the opposite of love is not hate; it's indifference. I'm sure most people have heard that before. And I got off the phone with this person. I just thought to myself, I'm like, they are literally indifferent. And I just happened to hear the whole thing about hate. It's like they're indifferent to their career, to their success, to their future. And it just, while I was driving, I just went like, if how can someone be indifferent to, like, you have to turn the tide. You have to actually look at it within to say, I am indifferent. Like the thought of me being indifferent to my own success, or for me to be indifferent to my own failure, is crazy. Like, it's just like the thought that you could, because people aren't doing what I know I need to do X amount of activity to try to survive in this environment, but I'm not willing to do it. And that's what the message was. Like, this person's talking about how they want to maintain, they want to stay in the business, but they're not doing anything they're indifferent to their success and to their failure, right? So anyway, that's what crossed my mind. And then just to turn it on anyone from a leadership role as well, whether or not you have one person that reports to you, or thousands, is, are you indifferent as a leader to the people that are working with you, right? Are you indifferent to their success? Or are you indifferent to their failure? So I just think if you merge the two, if you're the individual loan officer, asking yourself the hard question, are you acting indifferent? Are your actions not in alignment with your words? And the same as a leader, that's where I got it. That's where I came up with just the thought process for me. And it's, to me, it just creates a lot of clarity. It's a very direct question. If I said, Dave, are you indifferent to your success? Are you indifferent to your failure? I know your answer would be a hell no. Well, it'd be a, yeah, the bottom line is you're not indifferent, right? You make moves, your actions are in alignment with your words while you do these videos nonstop, these interviews nonstop. So it's, to me, it's a accountability mechanism for a loan officer and for anyone that is managing, leading, boss, whatever role you're in. So that's where it came from.
So guys, I just shared my screen and this is the actual email. So you could, it's probably pretty small for you. I don't know if you can read it, but you could take a screenshot and you could blow this up. And of course you could also sign up for it. We'll put the website down below, but I'll tell you where I got triggered. Like I was reading this and going, this is good. This is good. You said, as a loan officer, are you indifferent to your own success? By the way, every loan officer right now, listen to this, answer that question. Are you indifferent to your own failures? And then I love this, number 3. If you said you weren't indifferent, is your daily activity reflective of that? If you aren't closing any loans and you haven't made, and you've made no calls and you haven't met people, you've studied nothing in your business, you are indifferent. So I was like that. But guys, Hunter, this is where it really hit me. And after reading this, I said, and then boss and managers. And I always say the branch manager's job it's the most difficult job in the mortgage business. The producing branch manager, it's the most difficult job and it's the most important job. And so here I am. This is, anyone listen to this, especially all you producing branch managers out there where you are producing, and you're supposed to be managing. Are you indifferent to the success of your people that report to you? Are you indifferent to the failures of the people? And by the way, if you believe in the future, especially with these NAR settlement rules coming into place and the shift that's going to take place in the market, it's never been more important that your loan officers are leveraging their database. And it's never been more important that they're coaches. They have to coach up the buyers and they need to deliver tangible value. So, are you indifferent? And if you said you weren't indifferent, is your daily activities reflective of that? So question to every branch manager, are you doing at least a weekly branch managers meeting? And are you following up? And are you doing training? If you've done nothing or very little to help your team succeed, you're indifferent. And so I really feel, Hunter, tell me if you think I'm right here, that if branch managers really got a call and they really leaned in to their team, weekly branch manager meetings, where, by the way, and we're not just telling, hey, new guidelines and, telling about transactional updates are great. Things that are going to help them close more loans at a transactional level. But we need to have meetings where we're best practice sharing on how to win with buyers, how to help realtors win with buyers, and how to prepare for the new market. Like if they just started doing that and following up on that and started really up-leveling the skills of all the loan officers in their branches, first of all, the loan officers of the branches would have more confidence because they'd have more skills. They would be hustling and working. And I haven't met people that, work hard and hustle that aren't happy. Usually when you work hard and you hustle, it's kind of hard to have a bad attitude after you work out, because you worked,
Right.
I think if producing branch managers really resonated with your message, like we could solve the profitability crisis in the market. And we're not going to up-level everyone because there are clearly people that need to self-select themselves out of the business. But we would up-level 80% of the productive people we have in the market. What are your thoughts?
I mean, I agree with you 100%. I think that and this is where this whole thing came together with love, hate, and indifference and those quadrants. If you're in the bottom quadrants of not producing, as an LO and you are a good branch manager, then you have to your point, it's either going to self-select or it's tough love, right? It's accountability. It is, I mean, you got to be accountable to yourself as a branch manager to do stuff consistently to elevate your team, but then you also have to hold everybody accountable to just do. I mean, you know, you can study you can study everything on the planet, whatever, you can derive every, you know, whatever list of people you're going to call. At some point, you got to pick up the phone and make calls. And I just think that, yeah, I mean, it's tough love right now, but it's better than being indifferent towards your people. So, and I think a lot of us have to get comfortable with the tough love, because the only other out is the indifference of people just going away, or you just, you know, or you got to let people go because, you know, they're not producing anything.
Yeah, well, again, I don't know that it needs to be tough love. So tell me, I want some coaching for you. So like I created this trustengine.com 10x page where I put what I think are some of the most important sales trainings for Mortgage Coach. You know, what I think are some of the most important trainings to win with realtors, some of the most important trainings to win with rate shoppers, you know, a bunch of training on how to be a mortgage coach, and then a link to all of our, you know, all of our live stuff. What else could I do, you know, to help support branch managers and train? Any suggestions on what I could do in the content I create that would be of value to really helping producing branch managers get to the next level? Any thoughts?
I mean, Dave, I think you're doing it as well as anyone, man. I mean, I think when I talk about tough love, I just mean just the pure accountability of making sure that what you're preaching is being put into practice. So to me, that's always the
So follow
magical,
up, follow
huh?
up,
Follow
the
up. That's what
follow
I,
up.
yeah, that's literally what I mean. So, you know, I mean, I guess if you could have a, you know, a trust engine accountability tool where, you know, people are making X amount of calls. It's inside of your, you know, it's inside of your world where, you know, people are showing the calls that they made, the appointments that they made, the loans that they locked that day, the presentations that they've given, right? Like that's because it is true that does motivate and inspire other people. I do remember, like, when I was coaching 10 years ago, it's like, they're not doing, that's bullshit, you know, excuse my language. Like, that's not happening, blah, blah, blah. And then I saw that it was actually happening, and it did motivate me to just follow suit. So that's the only thing I would say to you is, how do you, how do you hold people accountable more to execute on what you're telling them and what they say they find value in what you do?
Right on, brother. So I want to honor the time that you committed to do this. I really appreciate your, first of all, thank you for your Sunday thoughts.
Thanks, brother.
What is the website people can go to sign up?
If you just go to sundaythoughts.com, there's a place on the left. When you open it up, it'll show you all the Sunday thoughts. Then on the left, it just says if you want to subscribe to it, you can just put your email address in there and go for it.
Yeah, I'm going to pull
You'll
that
get
up real
added.
quick. And it looks like, so by the way, great job. You've got a website up. Go to sundaythoughts.com and then right here, sign up for it. And where is this week's? I don't see this
Not
week's.
Bridget will probably get it up there in the next day.
Okay, so go to sundaythoughts.com, follow Hunter on Facebook, on LinkedIn. Dude, you're such a gift to this community. Any closing thoughts before we wrap?
No, man, thanks for having me. I mean, it's people like you. I think we need, things will get better. This is a moment in time. Things are getting better, and if you hang around the right people, you get through it faster and come out on the other end. So, no, I appreciate the opportunity, brother. I love everything you're doing.
Appreciate you, brother. Take care,
Thanks.
everybody.
You
Hope you
too.
got value. If you have not already, subscribe to our YouTube channel. If you are not a mortgage coach, go to trustengine.com, a number of places where you can sign up. And if you're a manager or a leader and you want to learn more about our borrower intelligence platform, request a demo in the upper right-hand corner. Take care, everybody.